All right. So today's topic: who had the better debut album? Was it Snoop Doggy Dogg with Doggystyle? I believe that came out in 1993, or was it Only Built for Cuban Linx with RAEKWON, co-starring Ghostface? Was that 93 or 94? I don't recall, but it was about the same time period.
I think it was 94.
It was 94. It was 94.
Yeah.
Both of these albums are all-time classic albums, great music at a time in hip-hop where the commercialism had met the creativity and everything was on a high level, and it was the soundtrack to a lot of our lives. Two different coasts, two different regions, two different styles, two different approaches to music. What was the better album? Who had the better debut album? Not the better career, not who was the better MC, but who had the better album. And you know what, Dre, this is a topic that that you kind of conceived in your mind. You got your asshole juices flowing. I want to know what you think about it, Dre. How do you feel about this?
How do I come in after such a rousing introduction? I actually am not a contrarian on this one. I feel like everyone really knows Doggystyle is the better album from it actually delivering on the promise of what Snoop Dogg was supposed to be coming off of his deep cover and chronic tracks. It was like the same excitement you got when you knew 50 Cent was coming, the same excitement you got when you knew Kendrick was coming. You knew something special was going to happen with this album. With RAEKWON, we knew it was going to be fire because of the road the Woo was on. We just didn't know it was going to be that, because you're talking about this is what, after Jizza and after Meth. So you're like, those two are banging. This has to be a jam. So it was kind of like expected, whereas with Doggystyle, we didn't really know what we were going to get. We didn't really know how it was going to be. I think Doggystyle is a better collection of Dre beats over the Chronic to me, as far as the way it was sequenced and put in order. You got to see Dre and Warren G really flex on what they were trying to create with their sound. And I think that's what really pushes Doggystyle over the top.
I never thought I would say this, but I can't disagree one iota. I believe that you're absolutely correct in what you said, but we'll see what these other two hip-hop historian connoisseurs think. Jammer One, first time on the show. What do you think about this? What do you think is the better album, Jammer?
You know what's crazy? Back in those days, I was kind of like anti-West Coast. If they wasn't spitting some hard bars and lyrics, you know, I just didn't really care for it too much. I did like Far Side and I did like Hieroglyphics because they had that East Coast sort of flair to them. So I love those types of West Coast acts.
Yeah, the East
Coast
Coast
bias. More
bias.
like commercialized stuff, I was like, I was hating hard on it. But as time moved on, and I went back and I listened to a lot of that stuff, I have a greater appreciation for it. So 19-year-old Jammer One back in 1994 would have been all about Cuban Linx. Like straight up and down, like no Doggystyle cannot get with this. It's lyrically better, the beats are harder, you know, it's Wu-Tang. But, you know, like the grown-up version of me, I would have to give it the Doggystyle because it's sonically impressive. A lot of the topics, like a lot of it was fun in a lot of ways, like songs like It Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I agree. I agree with Andre. Like, I think I would have to say that Doggystyle is ultimately the better album.
Dre, you picked a good one, but Slankster, we have to go to you, Slick Vic Low. With your super hip-hop sensibilities of high-level content, high-level rhyme and lyrical construction, Killer Priest loving cannabis worshiping ass nigga. What do you think about
Wow.
Listen, when you first introduced this as the topic for the episode, my immediate reaction is very much, are y'all fucking serious? However, that was my immediate reaction. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized this is so close. Like, this is actually so close for me.
It is close.
It's very close. They're definitely both classics. If you were to add, so if I'm not mistaken, Doggystyle came out early in the year, 94.
Yes, yes.
Cuban Linx came out
Dougie's
later.
93.
That
Cuban
was
Linx
the
came
end
out
of
Late
a year later.
93, right. And then
Yeah.
Cuban Linx came after the Jizza, after
Right.
Liquid Swords,
Right.
after old ODB, I believe.
Right.
And so if you ask me at the time when Doggystyle first came out, I was in 6th grade. And I saw the video for, Snoop Doggy Dogg and him turning into a goddamn Nerve Doberman picture and shit. And all the West Coast stuff at the time, I thought it was the coolest shit ever. Like, they're gangsters who rap. And so I even had made a cassette tape of my own, rapping into the speaker of the boombox. The cassette tape was called Slick Fix the Crip. Which made no sense whatsoever because the cassette tape itself was red and black. And it was terrible. It was me mimicking like
That's
what
Slick
I saw
Vic the Crip,
like,
though.
in Easy E videos. It was
But
terrible.
do you still have it? Do you still have it?
I do not. My aunt saw it on the floor and was like, "What is this shit?" and threw it away.
I would have loved to hear the bars.
Oh man, it was very early on. It was awful. It was absolutely awful, and it was just me rapping about killing people, and I'd never killed any people. And so, but by the time
At that time, but since then, have you taken a life?
Hey, no, we don't answer those questions. Haven't you watched the Shade Room? This is where rappers get caught up. Don't say that.
I tried to go and give you a little Vlad there. Like,
stop it, Vlad.
Fast forward a few months later, though, the day that I saw the video for Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With on Rap City, my life was never the same after that. And all of a sudden, everything shifted. It was like, oh shit, these are ninjas who rap. This is way better.
Yeah.
And so, for me, though it's close, for me, it's Cuban Linx that I would say is the superior record. Here's why. And I'm definitely East Coast biased. I'm definitely biased to the style of that album. And I mean, it's an incredible comparison, and it's such a juxtaposition in styles. You're talking about funk Dr. Dre versus like early gritty RZA. And it's like so different. One is very clean, polished production. One is that gritty East Coast stuff with the EQ on all the drums and everything. And so if you grew up listening to that shit and developing your own style after that, like I did, you're going to be biased to it. But even if you look at Doggystyle, like, okay, it's a very successful commercial record and a creative record. Cuban Linx was successful in its own right as well. Like, Ice Cream beat out KRS-One's MCs Act Like They Don't Act Like They Don't Know. Like, it beat out that for the #1 spot on Rap City. I remember 6 weeks in a row. And I was like, Chris can't get the #1 spot, and it's in its name, because the Kareem joint was just smashing every freaking week. And then you had Glaciers of Ice, you had Incarcerated Scarfaces, like all of these joints, all of these singles, like they charted, like they were destroying. And so it was successful commercially and creatively. And then if you listen to it top to bottom, I think it's a better album, like from song to song, end to end. And then I think personally, I like the production style better. Lyrically, I like what RAEKWON and Ghost is doing lyrically a little more than Snoop. This was like prime Snoop. This was the version of Snoop that I only got later on with freestyle. He was still spitting like that on his songs. Go play. So I think it's close, but for me, production-wise, lyrically, I think for me, as a straightforward like hip hop record that captured the sound of New York in that era. RZA at his apex when he was just making crazy beats that nobody ever heard the likes of before. And even like you talk about the sampling, all Dre was doing was, taking like Funkadelic records and putting some drums under them. RZA was chopping shit up a lot more. He was doing a lot more with his drums.
Hold on one second.
Wait.
I'll let you go for a second.
I feel like that's an oversimplification of what Dre was doing.
It's really not. Because when his production started to get more complex than that, mostly it really wasn't him doing it after that point. If you really go back and look at the history.
Puffy.
Puffy wasn't doing anything. Puffy was telling somebody else with the sample and then putting his name on it. Puffy wasn't doing shit. But Dre was basically doing the really melodic stuff that like like, you know, like Melly Mel and some of them, and had done earlier on the East Coast, and he was sampling different kind of records.
So is this really a battle between who's the better producer between
I'm
Dr.
just
Dre
saying,
and
as a
RZA?
record, I like the production slightly better because I think the production was more complex on Cuban Linx, and lyrically, I think, you know, the writing was a little more complex, and so it's close, but with my bias attached to those reasons, I go Cuban Linx.
At least you admit your bias. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I can't ignore the bias. Like, Wu-Tang literally shifted my existence into a whole other stratosphere.
1 second.
And you're talking about the core of that era.
Eoji and Pan's beard grooming kit. You all make decisions every day. What kind of man do you want to be? Had a commercial break in there. Gotta satisfy my sponsors with everybody to go, because you know your beard, it's dirty. You got shit in it and stuff. You gotta clean it out. With stuff you gotta comb it, take care of it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm still trying to grow.
Is this the real reason you brought me on?
No, put the beard. No, brother, but it's good. You should probably go out and get you a kit. I think it's what do you tell me? It's $49.95. Eoji and Pants Outfit Omega beard grooming kit for men. It's got its own comb. You would love it, my brother. You would love it. You probably need it. You probably got fecal matter in your beard that you didn't clean out, and so I think that
fecal matter.
It's possible. I mean, it's in there.
It's not. It's not.
If they put your beard underneath a microscope,
I can't tell my mom to watch this now. She's gonna view me differently. I'm about to drink paper cups at her house. It's not good.